Money Heist, Spanish, La Casa de Papel, transl. The House of Paper, is a Spanish heist crime drama television series created by Álex Pina. The series traces two long-prepared heists led by the professor, Álvaro Morte, one on the Royal Mint of Spain, and one on the Bank of Spain. The series was initially intended as a limited series to be told in two parts. It had its original run of 15 episodes on Spanish network Antena 3 from May 2, 2017 through November 23, 2017. Netflix acquired global streaming rights in late 2017. It recut the series into 22 shorter episodes and released them worldwide, beginning with the first part on December 20, 2017, followed by the second part on April 6, 2018. In April 2018, Netflix renewed the series with a significantly increased budget for 16 new episodes total. Part 3, with 8 episodes, was released on July 19, 2019. Part 4, also with 8 episodes, was released on April 3, 2020. A documentary involving the producers and the cast premiered on Netflix the same day, titled Money Heist, The Phenomenon. The series was filmed in Madrid, Spain. Significant portions of Part 3 were also filmed in Panama, Thailand, and Florence, Italy. The narrative is told in a real-time-like fashion and relies on flashbacks, time jumps, hidden character motivations, and an unreliable narrator for complexity. The series subverts the heist genre by being told from the perspective of a woman, Tokyo, Ursula Corbero, and having a strong Spanish identity, where emotional dynamics offset the perfect strategic crime. The series received several awards including Best Drama Series at the 46th International Emmy Awards, as well as critical acclaim for its sophisticated plot, interpersonal dramas, direction, and for trying to innovate Spanish television. The Italian anti-fascist song Bella Ciao, which plays multiple times throughout the series, became a summer hit across Europe in 2018. By 2018, the series was the most watched non-English language series and one of the most watched series overall on Netflix, with a particular resonance coming from viewers from Mediterranean Europe and the Latin world. Set in Madrid, a mysterious man known as the Professor recruits a group of 8 people, who choose cities for code names, to carry out an ambitious plan that involves entering the Royal Mint of Spain, and escaping with €2.4 billion. After taking 67 people hostage inside the mint, the team plans to remain inside for 11 days to print the money as they deal with elite police forces. In the events succeeding the initial heist, the group are forced out of hiding, and find themselves preparing for a second heist, this time on the Bank of Spain, as they again deal with hostages and police forces. Writer Esther Martinez Lobato, October 2018 5. The series was conceived by screenwriter Álex Pina and director Jesus Colmenar during their years of collaboration since 2008. 6. After finishing their work on the Spanish prison drama Vis-a-Vis, Locked Up, they left Globo Media to set up their own production company, named Vancouver Media, in 2016. 6-7. For their first project, they considered either filming a comedy or developing a heist story for television, 6, with the latter having never been attempted before on Spanish television. 8. Along with former Locked Up colleagues, they developed Money Heist as a passion project to try new things without outside interference. 5. Pina was firm about making it a limited series, feeling that dilution had become a problem for his previous productions. 9. Initially entitled Los Desahuciados, The Evicted, in the conception phase, 9, the series was developed to subvert heist conventions and combine elements of the action genre, thrillers and surrealism, while still being credible. 6. Pina saw an advantage over typical heist films in that character development could span a considerably longer narrative arc. 10. Characters were to be shown from multiple sides to break the viewer's preconceptions of villainy and retain their interest throughout the show. 10. Key aspects of the planned storyline were written down at the beginning. 11. While the finer story beats were developed incrementally to not overwhelm the writers. 12. Writer Javier Gomez Santander compared the writing process to the professor's way of thinking, going around, writing down options, consulting engineers whom you cannot tell why you ask them that, but noted that fiction allowed the police to be written dumber when necessary. 12. The beginning of filming was set for January 2017, 8, allowing for 5 months of pre-production. 13. The narrative was split into 2 parts for financial considerations. 13. The robbers' city-based code names, Which Spanish newspaper ABC compared to the color-based code names in Quentin Tarantino's 1992 heist film Reservoir Dogs? 14, were chosen at random in the first part. 15, although places with high viewership resonance were also taken into account for the new robbers' code names in part 3. 16, the first 5 lines of the pilot script took a month to write. 13, as the writers were unable to make the professor or Moscow work as narrator. 9, Tokyo as an unreliable narrator, flashbacks and time jumps increased the narrative complexity. 10, but also made the story more fluid for the audience. 13, the pilot episode required over 50 script versions until the producers were satisfied. 17-18, later scripts would be finished once per week to keep up with filming. 13. Casting took place late in 2016, spanning more than 2 months. 19. The characters were not fully fleshed out at the beginning of this process, and took shape based on the actor's performance. 20. Casting directors Eva Lira and Yolanda Serrano were looking for actors with the ability to play empathetic robbers with believable love and family connections. 21. Antena 3 announced the ensemble cast in March 2017 and released audition excerpts of most cast actors in the series aftershow Tercer Grado and on their website. 20. The professor was designed as a charismatic yet shy villain who could convince the robbers to follow him and make the audience sympathetic to the robbers' resistance against the powerful banks. 22. However, developing the professor's role proved difficult, as the character did not follow archetypal conventions. 19. And the producers were uncertain about his degree of brilliance. 9. While the producers found his solve a personality early on. 9. They were originally looking for a 50-year-old Harvard professor type with the looks of Spanish actor José Coronado. 23-9, the role was proposed to Javier Gutierrez, but he was already committed to starring in the film Campeones. 24, meanwhile, the casting directors advocated for Álvaro Morte, whom they knew from their collaboration on the long-running Spanish soap opera El Secreto de Puente Viejo, even though his primetime television experience was limited at that point. 23. Going through the full casting process and approaching the role through external analysis rather than personal experience, Morte described the professor as a tremendous box of surprises that end up shaping this character because he never ceases to generate uncertainty, making it unclear for the audience if the character is good or bad. 19. The producers also found that his appearance of a primary school teacher gave the character more credibility. 9. Pedro Alonso was cast to play Berlin, whom La Voz de Galicia would later characterize as a cold, hypnotic, sophisticated and disturbing character, an inveterate macho with serious empathy problems, a white-collar thief who despises his colleagues and considers them inferior. 25. The actor's portrayal of the character was inspired by chance encounter Alonso had the day before receiving his audition script, with an intelligent person who was provocative or even manipulative to him. 26. Alonso saw high observation skills and an unusual understanding of his surroundings in Berlin, resulting in unconventional and unpredictable character behavior. 25. Similarities between Berlin and Najwa Nimri's characters Zulema and Pina's TV series Locked Up were unintentional. 27. The family connections between the professor and Berlin were not in the original script, but were built into the character's backstory at the end of Part 1 after Morte and Alonso had repeatedly proposed to do so. 28. The producers found the protagonist and narrator, Tokyo, among the hardest characters to develop. 13, as they were originally looking for an older actress to play the character who had nothing to lose before meeting the professor. 20, Ursula Corbero eventually landed the role for bringing a playful energy to the table. Her voice was heavily factored in during casting, as she was the first voice the audience hears in the show. 20, Jamie Lorente developed Denver's hallmark laughter during the casting process. 20, two cast actors had appeared in previous TV series by Álex Pina. Paco 2, Moscow, had starred in the 2005 TV series Los Hombres de Paco, and Alba Flores, Nairobi, had starred in Locked Up. Flores was asked to play Nairobi without audition when Pina realized late in the conception phase that the show needed another female gang member. 9, for the role opposite to the robbers, Itziar Atuno was cast to play Inspector Raquel Murillo, whom Atuno described as a strong and powerful woman in a world of men, but also sensitive in her private life. 29, she took inspiration from the Silence of the Lambs character Clarice Starling, an FBI student with a messy family life who develops sympathies for a criminal.